Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings this time, 7:59 a.m. Central, just a minute before 8 o'clock to support, train, and assist. We've got several new white label partners. Welcome aboard, Pete, Spencer, and others. So we're going to be doing Pete and Spencer's onboarding. And if you are a white label partner, if you've not gone through the onboarding, maybe this will be of assistance. This should be very interactive. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, Pete, Spencer, and others, you're going to go ahead and type that into the Q&A. If you have client specific questions, of course, we will not be covering it on this general training. So Pete, Spencer, and others, those of you that are new white label partners, welcome aboard. If you're not a white label partner yet and want to become one, it's free and easy. And we're on the iimfl.org website, the white label page. Right here is where you get plugged in. Super simple. Our process now is once you've done this, we will send you an onboarding Adobe packet for you to review and complete. That will be the first step in your onboarding. The second step is this. We're going to go through and make sure that you're ready and prepared to be able to start helping small businesses. So again, Pete, Spencer, and others that are white label partners, welcome aboard. This page here, the white label page on the iimfl.org website, is very important. It is pretty much your one-stop shop for information regarding how to be a white label partner. We are very transparent. There's no passwords. There's no restrictions. The whole world can see this. But if you are a white label partner, you certainly want to spend time on it. And so before we have a one-on-one onboarding call, I would certainly encourage you to go through this training. So at the top, it's just highlighting the value proposition of being a white label partner. We're not going to spend time on that. So we have lots of trainings. On average, we have around 20 a month, most weekdays. The subset of trainings that are on the white label page are those that are the most important. So you don't have to wade through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of prior trainings. These are the most important ones, and it is important that you've gone through them. So the white label onboarding here at the top, we talk about the client onboarding process. So again, just detailed specifics. And so what happens frequently, we'll have a new white label partner that'll sign up, they'll skip this training, and then they have a million questions. Well, we need to address the questions after the white label partner has gone through the available training. So onboarding is, so we're going down in order. We're going to just talk through briefly what these training videos are. And if you are a white label partner, frankly, it's your responsibility to go through this. I frequently have white label partners that say, well, Tom, I don't have time for that. And so we have to stop and say, well, what type of income are you trying to generate? Because we know as a white label partner, our goal is to work with each of you to have one conversion, one new client a day, 30 a month. But even if you don't want to be that aggressive, we know that we've agreed to help at least 8 clients a month, right? 2 a week on average. Well, if you do the math on that for a second, let's just make sure we know what type of money is at stake. You're going to get paid $2,500 refundable deposit from every one of those 8 clients. And then we're also going to get on average $10,000 from each of them in performance fees, depending upon how you set up the key person policy, which we talked about yesterday. Let's call that an extra 1,000. So that's $13,500 is your expected income per client. And we know that you're going to generate at least 8 in the month of October going forward. That's a 6-digit month. $108,000 is what it comes out to. So I just plead with you, we've got to find some time to get you trained, because this is expected to be a 7-figure business relationship, and it doesn't cost you anything to be a white label partner. We're not trying to sell you a 7-figure Ponzi scheme. This is 7 figures, which means $1 million plus of expected income, and it costs you nothing to enroll, but you do have to plug in and get prepared. I know I'm with you. I've got children. I've been married for 25 years, work full time. I'm taking online classes in the evening. I was in an online class from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. last night. I understand how busy it is, but for the opportunity to earn 100 grand a month, $1 million plus per year, reasonably, just at the minimum level of performance of 2 clients a week, 8 clients a month, we've got to allocate some time to getting trained. So the training is available on demand, white label onboarding training right here. Secondly, we have how to onboard clients. We talk about how fundability works. We talk about some secret ways to help clients become fundable. This is yesterday's training, by the way. For those of you that are life insurance licensed, goldmine, writing key person policies. Even if you're not life insurance licensed, but you're a white label partner, you need to know how to do this because you need to manage it. You can have someone else do it. You can outsource it, but you need to understand how it works. This was yesterday's training. Worried about leads? Got leads. Here's free leads. Teach about that. Building an affiliate network. You want to go out and teach, whether it be in person or online, learn about it here as a financial literacy educator along with the packet. Here's an opportunity for you to teach and we close, step-by-step process, how to earn at least $1,000 a day, adding primary trade lines, which is relevant to building the fundability of a client, which dovetails back to where we talked about fundability up here in the 3 C's. Guaranteed issue financing we talked about back on August 16th. We've had funding success story training, more implementation training, free leads, more on free leads. And I'm not sure why that one's all blacked out. Let me refresh the page and figure out why that's all blacked out. I don't understand that, but I have to check into that. I don't know why the logo's gone on that. But the bottom line is, if you are a new, or if you're new or an existing white label partner, it is your responsibility to go through this training. Each one's on average 30 minutes. So let's count them up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I don't know what's going on with this black one. So we have about 8 hours of training. But you show me somewhere else where we can spend 8 to 10 hours to get prepped and have a reasonable chance to earn $100,000 a month, $1 million a year with no buy-in. I don't know where you can beat that, right? So if you've not gone through these training videos, all of these training videos. Now, what you and I know is that there's active learning and passive learning. Correct. So like last night when I'm enrolled in a graduate program at Rice University, which is a well-respected university out of Houston. So 3 hours from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. taught by an attorney. And this attorney did not give us one single break, not a bathroom break, not a coffee break, we had a chance to ask questions. You know, that's rigorous, but that's what you kind of get in graduate school. But the bottom line is here, you can do it self-paced when you would like, but we do need to commit and be an active learner. An active learner, right? You've got your notepad out and you're taking notes, right? You're not just doing something else in the background as you're going through this. Now, again, you can decide how diligent you want to be. We're plugging you into an opportunity to help small businesses access $100,000 guaranteed. Access to capital is a guaranteed access to capital, regardless of, there's no minimum credit scores, no minimum time in business for the small business to enroll. And we do 3 things, right? We build financial literacy, we build our loan package, and give them access to capital. It's a big deal. So what's my point more concisely? I'm encouraging you, please be diligent, put in the time and learn the material. We are here to support you and train you and assist you, but it starts with you becoming familiar with this crucial information. And again, we'll figure out what this mysterious black box is doing here. Okay, so once you've done that training, you should be ready to start making money. So how long is the lead time? 1 day. If you took your first day or took a day and went through that training, then you are ready to start making money. What do you need to do first? Do you just start submitting leads on the white label client submission form? Oh, heavens no, right? First of all, you don't submit any leads here. You only submit your clients. And so that's what it says. So once your client is contracted with you, then you start submitting them. Well, how do you contract them? Well, you'll learn that in the training above, but just to give you the Cliff Notes version, we have provided you sample agreement templates. And if you click on them, it'll open in their Word, so they're editable. You don't have to use these, but you need to contract with your clients. The concept of a white label partner is you contract with your clients. They're contracting with you. We have a relationship with you. So there's 3 parties involved, but only 2 parties involved with each agreement. It's you and us in the white label relationship, and it's you and your client in the client relationship. So you need to contract with your client. And again, spent on this law class last night, we talked all about contracts ad nauseum. So does a contract with your client have to be in writing? It doesn't. But I tell you what, you're just going into a hornet's nest to do oral agreements with your clients. You need to state what you're promising to do and what they promise to do. So in case a dispute should arise, there's clarity and easy resolution. So we've done our part. We've provided you sample agreements that you can use as they are or edit them. And of course, as we talked about at the top, as a white label partner, you control what you want your client pricing to be, your client terms, you manage the process, you can let them out at any time that you want, but you need to have an agreement with them or you're really exposed. So once you have the client contracted with you, so you can take this and you can send it to them via Adobe, DocuSign, you can do a wet signature. It's up to you. You can do online terms and conditions, however you want to secure your client relationship. Once you have them secured, then you submit them right here. You don't submit them anywhere else. We have a new white label partner that came on this week. He started submitting them somewhere else. And he's wondering, well, what's happening? I'm not getting any feedback. Well, he was frankly submitting them as an affiliate, and affiliates don't get feedback, right? Affiliates refer in and get paid and really nothing else. That's why a lot of people like to be white label partners. You're involved, you control the client relationship, you control the client pricing, so forth. So this is where you submit clients. You might say, well, what happens after I submit the client? That's what I need to know. Well, within 24 hours normally, give us 1 to 2 business days from the time that you submit a client here, then we will set them up in our system. And what that specifically means is we will email you a confirmation that the client is set up. And then also in that email, it'll say, all right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to forward them the funding app so we can secure their first tranche of financing. It's all stated in this setup email that you receive from us within 1 to 2 business days of submitting a client. That funding, we call it a funding proposal. It is sent to them. It's white label version, but it comes from us in a white label format. You're copied on it. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to get that client to complete the application, because without an application, there's not going to be any funding, right? It's a very simplified, it doesn't create any inquiries, just a 1-pager, gathers a little bit of information about their business, gathers just a little bit of information about them. If their business is not formed yet, or excuse me, if they don't have information about the business, it's fine. It's very forgiving. But that goes to them. Once they complete it, then within usually 1, no more than 2 business days, then we will process that app and get them funding offers. They are guaranteed funding. Let's say it again. They are guaranteed first tranche financing. How much are they going to get? Depends upon how credible they are. They'll get at least $2,500, which is enough to cover the refundable deposit that they'll be paying you. I'll come to that in a second, but they could get $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. It depends on how credible they are. Now, we've not built their loan package yet. I'm going to get to that in a moment. So this is not going to be some SBA loan or something elaborate. At this point, we're working off just that minimum base of information. They get funding, they pay you the refundable deposit. Now, I say it's refundable. If you don't want it to be refundable, then remove the word refundable out of the agreements, and then it's not refundable because you control the terms. We covered that at the top of this page. But let's just assume you're doing the norm. So then they've gotten funded, you invoice them, and they pay you $2,500, the refundable deposit. That's what's stated in the agreement. And so that's your first money. That money should come to you normally within the first week of a client being on board. So it's not too good to be true that the client signs up today and then all of a sudden tomorrow you've got $2,500 in your pocket. It's possible, but not normal. Now, there's really three variations of what can happen in terms of that refundable deposit. They could complete the application and they could get a cash approval, which is our preference. How much they get approved for is going to be dependent upon their fundability. And so then that money is wired into their account, and then you invoice them and they pay you. So that's scenario one of the three. Scenario two of the three is they're really not very fundable. Whatever decisions they've made in their life, whatever circumstances that obviously are in no way a reflection of you or us, but they don't qualify for any cash funding at this time. That's okay. That's okay. So we have a guaranteed financing source that will guarantee them $2,500 without any minimum credit score, without any income verification. Now, it acts a little bit different, but essentially in that second scenario, it is just specifically to finance their refundable deposit. And then the third scenario is they say, hey, I don't want either of those. I'll just pay you the $2,500. And so you'll have some people that just do that. We had an example of that last evening. So the bottom line is, well, let's go back and recap where we're at. So if you're a white label partner, this page is really important, the white label page, the IIMFL. If you're not a white label partner, probably foolish not to be, easy to become one right here in the red. Once you are a white label partner, priority one is to go through the available training. It's going to take about 8 hours to go through this, and we encourage you to go through it in active versus passive format. Once you've done that, you are ready to start making money. You are ready. But what do you need to do first? You need to secure your client agreement so you know what your terms are with the client and they know what their terms are. And those templates are provided here for you. There's no passwords. There's no protection. You just go on here and you download it and you edit it the way you want and you start using it. Right? Simple. Then as you add each client, you're going to submit them right here on the submission form. Do you submit leads here? No, never. You submit clients because it means we're ready to get going with them, right? So you submit them in here within 1 to 2 business days. We try to make it within 1, but within 1 to 2 business days, you'll get a setup email. It will alert you that we have them set up and we're going to send them the funding proposal. We will then immediately send them the funding proposal via Adobe in a white label format, copying you. What do you want to do? You want to encourage them to complete it. And no matter if they say, oh, I won't get approved for anything, it doesn't matter, complete it. No matter what circumstances, that's their next step. If they fail to complete it, then you need to turn around and invoice them the $2,500 for the refundable deposit, because the deal is, at least the standard deal in the agreement is, hey, you won't have to pay the refundable client. You won't have to pay the refundable deposit out of pocket. We'll get you financing for it. But guess what? There's not going to be any financing ever if they won't fill out the damn one-page app. So they fill out the one-page app, comes back to us within 1 to 2 business days. Then we get offers. We communicate those offers to you. And you encourage, and with instructions, and we encourage you encourage them to follow through. They get funded, they pay you the $2,500. And again, we have the 3 scenarios. Either they get approved for cash funding, which is preferable, money's wired into their account, you invoice them, they pay you the $2,500. Scenario 2, they don't get approved for cash funding, all they get is funding and just enough for the refundable deposit. Don't prefer that, but that'll happen with some folks that are not very credible. Third is fundable, I guess I should say. And then third is they just say, hey, I'll just pay the $2,500 refundable deposit up front. So then at that point, what happens? Now we're going to go build their loan package. And so what you'll see is more details about that. We're going to set up their live plan account for its cloud-based business plan and financial forecasting. We're going to set up their Dropbox folder, which is where the loan package documents will go to. And then you have these 4 modules. Now, when we when we work with clients internally, when we're doing the support, and I mentioned this previously this week, if you want us to do the support of your clients, we can do that, or you can do it. It's implied that you would do it as a white label partner, but some of you have asked us to do it for you because you just don't have the time or preference to do so. But regardless, when we're managing them internally, frankly, we go through a module a week. It's set up and it's automated in our system. However, as a white label partner, here's the point I'm trying to get to. You can go into great detail of each of these modules or hit them cursory. You can go through them one topic a week, the way that we do internally, or you can do one a day or on demand. Some of you just send all 4 modules to the clients at once. And I'd say, well, wait a second. These people don't want financial literacy. They just want freaking funding. Why are we bothering with education? Why would we waste our time and their time with that? Well, my friend, most people are not financially literate. And so all of a sudden, when we're asking them, for example, well, can you upload your balance sheet? And you'll see that as a list here. You know what half of your clients will probably say to you? They'll say, I don't have a balance sheet. I don't need one. Well, I don't care what you need. I care what the banker needs, because you've retained us to be your technical advisor to help you get business funding. We're showing you how to put together a loan package. We're helping you do that. And a balance sheet's important. And they'll come back and they'll say crap like, well, this doesn't apply to me. I'm a brand new startup business. Well, and my response to that is, well, man, you're smart. You know everything about your business, but that banker knows nil about your business. And we need to present to the banker these standardized financial documents like a balance sheet. The point of, separate from my rant, is, we teach them about balance sheets and the relevance. If you would expose them to module 3, which is the training video here, it's white label. We've provided you the participant guide and the instructor guide to go through with them if you want. So why do we bother with financial literacy? The truth is, you can skip the financial literacy part if you want, but you're really sacrificing the experience and probably the results of the client, because they're going to get down here and be like a deer in the headlight when you talk about a balance sheet, when they should have learned all about it when they went through module 3. So again, you can go through the educational, the financial literacy as much as you want. But the end result is, as a white label partner, you want to take that Dropbox folder that we're going to provide to you, and then you can share it with them. You can either have your client get the documents to you and you upload it, or you can share the Dropbox folder with them and let them upload it themselves. I don't care. But the point is, we need to upload the relevant documents here. So what you and I are not going to do is fall into some trap where they say, well, I don't have business tax returns. I just form the business. Then this isn't going to work for me. Well, obviously, if your business hasn't been around long enough to file tax returns, you wouldn't have them. And that's why it says, if applicable. So again, you've just got to be on top of it, because people will just look for reasons to not engage. And it's like, just do your best, provide the documents that you do have, and then we can figure out if there's anything else that's really important. What we are sticklers on are the financial statements for the reasons I've already stated. And if that doesn't make sense to you, then again, it may be that you've not gone through these 4 lessons. And you could go through these 4 lessons one of 2 ways. I mean, it's all right here. You could just do it on your own, or you could enroll and go through the process yourself as a client. So the end result is, once we have the Dropbox with the documents in them, and it's not all or nothing, then we can go ahead and move forward with their full capital raise. And so that falls on our plate. It's your responsibility to help them populate their Dropbox. If you want us to handle the support of the clients, then it's our responsibility, but that's not the norm. Normally, you would be doing that. Okay, so we've covered a lot, but we've got several new white label partners, including, now I forget, Spencer and, Spencer and Pete, I think. But regardless, I wanted to go through this process so you understand. I realize that I'm flipping around on the screen and I don't have notes, but I'm reiterating what's part of already online training. So you can go through, have visual cues, be able to pause and review the training when you go through these modules. Okay, so with that, now we're going to switch over and focus on your questions, your comments, your concerns, because I've now onboarded all of you. Now, if you're fully onboarded or not is again dependent on what? Have you done your part? Have you watched the training videos carefully? If not, you need to do so. Have you created the client agreements that your clients are going to sign with you? If not, you need to focus on that. At that point, man, we're open for business, right? We need to start submitting clients. Okay, so Pauline says she's having issues with clients getting a small amount of first tranche financing. Well, first tranche financing is the first round, the first tranche, Pauline. And so we've not built their loan package yet. We've not helped change their circumstances. All we're simply trying to do is get them at least enough to cover the refundable deposit. I know the more the better, but as long as they get at least $2,500 to cover the refundable deposit, we can move forward in the process and they have no money out of pocket. It's financed. Some people will come to you and they'll have unrealistic expectations. Well, I need $50,000 right now. And you know, we look at their 3 C's and it's pitiful. So does that mean that we can't help them raise 100,000? Absolutely not. We're good with the long-term goal. But when they come to us, Pauline, up front for the first tranche financing, it's based upon their darn life decisions. And so for them to try to blame you, because we've got like 30 different lenders that are competing with our clients to issue first tranche financing. What are lenders? Lenders are banks and other alternative financial institutions. So you've heard of banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, and so there's over 30. And if that person's not qualifying for any cash funding, then we go to Plan B. And if they do qualify for cash funding, it's based upon their current life circumstances. Once they pay that refundable deposit, then we educate them through the curriculum, we build a loan package, and then we can move after the big money. But Pauline, I wouldn't let them play victim, right? Hey, you'll get approved for whatever you qualified for. And if you feel that our 30 different banks that are competing for your business cannot get you the offer that you expect right now, then get your own first tranche financing, and then they can pay you the $2,500 out of it. But people will often be uneducated and have unrealistic expectations. All right, so Pauline, let me know if I answered your question or concern or not. Spencer asked, do we supply templates? Well, the primary template, Spencer, would certainly be the agreement, which we provide, and it's here, and we've talked about that. There's not really other templates that's needed. If you're going to take them through the education, you can cut and paste here with these links if you would like, or present it as you want. But you can let me know, Spencer, if you feel like something's missing, but there's not a lot of templates that you need. The crucial one is right here. You've got to get that client agreement. We have a white label partner, and I forget the number. I think it's 20. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but he submitted like 20 deals this month. And then I get this weird communication from him, and I follow up with him and say, I don't understand what you're saying. And he's like, well, the client wants to quit. And I said, well, and I won't say his name. I said, sir, you have him under agreement, right? Oh, no, I didn't contract with him. So you submitted 20, I think it's the number. You submitted 20 prospects that we set up, and now we're liable for those clients. And frankly, he's liable for those clients, but those clients have no obligation to him. That's craziness. So again, we don't put in prospects here. It's only after you have them under contract. All right, so Pauline says, yes, we covered that. We covered, I guess, Spencer's question. If I didn't address it properly, Spencer, let me know. And again, for any of you that feel like that you are not properly onboarded, that's what we're doing literally right now. Now, again, if you have specific client questions, this is not the place for it. But any of you that do not feel that you're ready to go implement, that's what we need to be addressing right now. But if you've not gone through, again, the training modules, and I'm still bewildered by this mysterious black one, I'll figure that one out. But if you've not gone through these training modules, then the ball's in your court. You've got to start with getting familiar with the material. It's like the law class the contract law class that I'm in. You know, we're expected to read the chapters before the class. In this case, you're expected to go through the material before you pepper us with questions, because otherwise you've not done your part. All right, so Dion says his closing isn't strong. He doesn't like to talk all day, but he does give them a 15-minute consultation and let them talk. Well, yeah, it's up to you. Each of you have different sales, education, financial literacy, business development approaches, and whatever's working for you. As long as you're closing, Dion, at least 8 deals a month, it's all fine. If what you're doing is not closing at least 8 deals a month, then we're going to have to do something different. Now, Dion also mentions the agreement. Well, so you do need to have a written agreement with the client, but there are some subtle strategies so it doesn't scare them off. So one of the things that you can do is set it up as an online terms and condition. And most things in life nowadays, you agree to terms and conditions online. And so you can, and Scott Stroud can assist you if needed, our chief marketing officer, but you can make it online terms and conditions and you'll see a very high conversion rate. When we've done cold marketing, we've seen about a 53% conversion rate of people accepting the terms and conditions. So it may be the way that you're presenting the material, Dion, that's creating a barrier. I don't know. Okay, and then Dion also asked about closing strategies. So here today, we're not really talking about how to generate leads. We've got other trainings on that. But in terms of how to close the deal, I think it's coming with confidence. So let's just role play for a moment. So let's say it's you, Dion, and you're the prospect. And I'd say, Dion, my name's Thomas Montgomery, and I'm working with an organization that is helping fund startup and early stage businesses. Grant subsidized program, guaranteed $100,000 to start or grow a business. Guaranteed $100,000 to start or grow a business. Regardless of your personal credit scores or time in business, you're eligible for the program. And of course, there's no upfront cost. Dion, if you got just 2 minutes, I just want to see if you qualify for the program. And if you do, let's give it a try, because there's really no risk. So that's my role play, Dion. You're probably better at it. You do it differently. People will try to tell you their life story and how their idea is great and so forth. None of that matters, right? You're trying to get them plugged in to begin with. We will gather information about their business because it does matter in the end, of course, but we have a systematic way to gather that information and get it into the Dropbox. So my hunch is you're letting them talk, and they're talking about whatever they want to talk about, and you're not moving them forward in the sale. That's my assumption, but I don't know. But I'll tell you, not everyone's good closers. It's just the truth of it. And so if you're not a good closer, then you want to hire a closer. You hire someone to do what you're not good at. And then Spencer's asking about getting in touch with Scott. So Scott is our chief marketing officer. and his email is scott@smartmoneyalliance.org. And if you look at your white label onboarding, that is covered on there because we added that. So scott@smartmoneyalliance.org. He can help you set up landing pages, integrate drip marketing, whether it be through text or email. He's the technical expert. Great guy, credible, legitimate. You'll love working with him. scott@smartmoneyalliance.org. All right, so that answered Spencer's question. All right, so Pauline asked about affiliates. Yeah, so building affiliates, there are 4 primary ways that we talk about generating leads, and some of them are addressed here. But the 4 ways include, number 1, being an educator in training in person or online. That is a great way to generate leads. You can buy leads, you can secondly. Thirdly, you can develop your own leads, or fourth, you can develop an affiliate network. And I know that we talked about that somewhere here. Let me see where it is. Here it is. Key to massive volume building affiliate network, this one here. So with building an affiliate network, which essentially just means people that are referring to you, you determine how much you want to pay them. And as you'll see on this training video, we recommend having multiple tiers, multiple layers of payment. So that works very well. So I encourage you to view this training. And yes, you can set up, Pauline, the short answer to your question is you can set up your affiliate model however you want. It doesn't matter to us. They're your affiliates. All right, and then last question, then we'll wrap up here. So Pete says, a nice closing technique is to start the call with an expected time frame and then the quote unquote appointment squeeze. Oh, yeah. And so some of you have a lot of experience in business development and others don't, and you can do it how you want. At the end of the day, if you're just frankly no good at, and I say it respectfully, just no good at developing business, then you're going to want to outsource that to someone else. So you may prefer to work with the clients and help them implement and build their loan package and build their literacy. And that's fine. That's integral. So if you prefer to do that, then outsource the client development. Conversely, some of you really like developing business, but don't really want to implement, and you can outsource that portion. All right. So in conclusion, what we've done is an overview of our white label onboarding. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Let us know if you have any other questions, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. Thomas Montgomery.